The nation has learned a whole lot more about cryptocurrency with the arrest of Sam Bankman-Fried, the former CEO of cryptocurrency exchange FTX. And it also came up in Congress as they've held a meeting discussing whether crypto needs to be regulated. For more on that and all the legal challenges ahead, we bring in our 9 News legal expert, Whitney Traylor. So they arrested him this week in the Bahamas. We can talk all about the money and who gets their money back, which is probably no one. But what charges then does he face?
Right. So he's facing a number of criminal charges. This was from the Department of Justice. And so it was conspiracy to commit fraud, wire fraud, mail fraud, things like that. And so that's just the DOJ, which is the criminal action. There's also the CFTC and the SEC that are initiating civil actions.
CFTC is?
Yeah, with the Federal Trade Commission, right. And so they're initiating civil claims, but theirs will sort of take a back seat while the DOJ's criminal charges go forward. And as you said, they just arrested him in the Bahamas.
You know, it's funny, we were just talking about marijuana a couple minutes ago in the state, and of course one of marijuana's biggest problems are federal banking laws. Do federal banking laws apply in any way to cryptocurrency? Is that part of what we're trying to figure out, a mesh here that doesn't exist or does exist or should?
Well, that's part of the bigger picture in terms of the regulation, but in terms of what SBF did here, no, this was sort of, as I was saying earlier, I think similar to Bernie Madoff. He had his hedge fund, and what he was doing was taking investments from the crypto exchange, FTX, and putting it and commingling it with the hedge fund, and the hedge was actually losing money, and the people on the FTX didn't know. And so not only was he doing that, he was taking these massive loans, and on one side he was the lender from the company in his CEO role, and on the other side he took an individual loan. So it was, the allegations are serious fraud and corruption.
So is cryptocurrency the Wild West? Like, was he theoretically allowed to do this because there are no laws, no regulations about crypto, or are there that he was violating?
No, there are some regulations which he was violating and which he's being charged with, but this raises the bigger issue about crypto in general because of the effect that it had on the consumers, because a bunch of people lost money, and then there were other exchanges that were also impacted. And so I think it was Elizabeth Warren who said she's calling on the SEC to do more. And so there will be more regulation. And you've heard some of the folks in the industry saying, yes, we do need some more regulation because, but here, this situation was simple. He was wiring money to himself, loaning it to himself, buying this property in the Bahamas for his family and other executives. So according to the allegations, this was just pure greed.
And I know they're looking into his parents and other people, but then it's all these big names that were the people that were pitching it, if you will. They could run into some big trouble as well.
Well, it's a question.
The Tom Brady's of the world.
Yeah, what they knew. Because, of course, if you endorse something, you can't necessarily say, yes, I'll be liable for what happens. But I guess it depends on, the type of endorsement. But I don't think Tom Brady and his wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife, will have exposure unless they actually knew something. And I would be surprised that they did.
So it does make you wonder if you ever sign up for something again, though, without knowing about it.
Well, and you wonder if you're going to endorse something, maybe you actually should know something about what you're endorsing. But But the whole idea of cryptocurrency, in many ways, is to work outside of what people consider a restrictive banking system. The currencies that are currently in the world. So then you say, we want out of this. Oh, wait, we want regulation.
Right.
So now are you basically just becoming an extra currency, a new currency?
Right, and that may be the case. And, crypto is now being accepted. I mean, it's being traded and used by states. I mean, Governor Polis will accept crypto for tax payments. So I think it is part of the mainstream in many ways, but it is going to need more regulation. And this highlights the issue when people say, government, I'm a free market capitalist, let the market take care of itself. But it's when individuals...
But look out for me.
Yeah, right. When they do this corruption, then, that's when the government or laws are created.
Well, there's going to be a lot about it. This is just starting, this case with SBF, as we call him now.
And he's only been charged, he's the only one who's been charged, even though there's allegations of conspiracy. So there will be, obviously people were working with him and have obviously worked with the DOJ, and there'll be other charges.
Well, we'll talk with you more about it when we see you next. Thanks, Whitney.
All right.